Roger Stone here for Colonial Metals Group. Colonial Metals Group helps Americans protect their future with the most trusted store of wealth in human history. That's actual physical gold and silver. If you're retiring or you're retired, go to colonialmetalsgroup.com/stone right now for your free Roger Stone Colonial Metals Group Retirement Protection Kit. Or call 800-747-6589. That's 800-747-6589. Call now to receive your free home safe and up to $7,500 in free silver.
This is Sid and Friends in the Morning.
Entertaining and informative.
You're my best friend.
77 WABC.
Getting back to this Tyreek Hill story, so I already had a fight with Caitlin Collins, white girl, CNN, at about 6:15 this morning. Now my friend Janaea Butler chimes in. You know Janaea, she's a lovely girl, black girl, lovely girl here on this show often, and she writes on my Instagram page, Sid, he's a citizen, he has a right to have an attitude. Oh, he does. Oh, he does. He has a right to have an attitude. He has a right to be in fear. He's in fear and to protect himself. You see what's going on here? Black girl, black football player, and I love Janaea, but this is ridiculous. The cops need to be able to handle this without escalating. Oh, they do. So Tyreek Hill can be asked to do something 10 times, tell them, quote, don't tell me what to do, and it's the cops' fault. The cops should be able to handle this without escalating. They want to show authority. He's just an American. No, Janaea, he's just a jerk-off. That's what Tyreek Hill is. He's always been that way. That's why he's a Dolphin, not a Kansas City Chief. And by the way, what happened to the old domestic story? That went away very quickly. Remember that one?
Yeah. Excuse me.
Yeah, please.
Yeah. That's why I call people like Janaea SWA, sisters with attitude.
Yeah, right. No, it's okay.
Because you could have an attitude.
Of course.
Hey, F you. You're a
right.
cop. F you.
F you. I'm a black guy. You're going to kill me.
That's why I say cops got to give him an attitudinal readjustment. Give him a wooden shampoo. And that attitude will go away.
Right. So they dragged him out of the car and kicked his ass. And now the more I look at the video and get messages like that from Janaea, the more I wish the cops would have really kicked his ass. Maybe getting him out of the game against Jacksonville. He got off too easy.
Sid, you know the deal. Hey, I'm Tyree. Oh, let's get a whole motorcycle entourage.
They would have escorted him right to the stadium if
that
idiot would have said something.
They probably had bets on the game.
I'm sure they did.
So they want to make sure he gets there.
He scored a touchdown, but the Dolphins did not cover. They were favored by 3.5 and won by 3.
Yards, my God. That guy's like Mercury on the field.
So that is the great Curtis Sliwa, the host of the Rip and Read, noon to 1 every weekday, overnight weekends, and does an amazing job with me every day. You just heard our mutual friend Sal Greco, really your friend, he endorsed you for mayor. And you said to me last night, Curtis, because we text every day, even on the weekends, and you said, quote, tomorrow morning, here's Curtis Sliwa's quote, I'd be nervous right now if I was Eric Adams or Cuomo on the way to D.C. Your quote was, tomorrow morning, I settle all scores. Settle.
Let me give you the hors d'oeuvre first before we get into the two entrees. About Aaron Rodgers first, because you had mentioned my very dear friend Paul Carlucci. His handle is Johnny Legit.
Yeah, I know Paul very well.
I'm on that thread.
I didn't know you were on that thread.
KK,
you're not part of our dinner crew.
Well, I'm always on the thread.
Okay, because we're actually having dinner tomorrow night at Casa Cipriani.
Did you see my response? Of course you did.
No, I didn't. Listen, Aaron Rodgers, first game in 2 years, played okay last night. To talk about Aaron Rodgers today is stupid. The Jet defense cost them the game last night, not Aaron Rodgers.
This was my response. Away game, right? So they're all getting on the team bus, getting out of the hotel. And the bus driver says, oh, Aaron, you're my favorite of all time. I do acid all the time. I do LSD. How many of you think any of the Jets are getting on that bus, including Aaron Rodgers, to the stadium? That's number one.
Oh, stop.
Number two.
Yeah.
Let me take you back to July of 1971, Tiger Stadium. On the mound, Doc Ellis. At the plate, Reggie Jackson when he was an Oakland Athletic. Hits a shot 540 feet. It hits the light stanchion, or it would have gone out of Tiger Stadium. And what did Doc Ellis say? I shouldn't have taken LSD that day.
He did, yeah. But this has nothing to do with LSD.
No, of course
no,
it
does. And Aaron played fine last night. Carlucci clearly had the Jets and the 4. He was pissed off. But if I'm going to talk sports on this show, I talk real sports. Rodgers didn't lose the game last night. The Jet defense lost the game last night. I don't hear about the LSD thing all year. It's stupid.
No, you're right.
He did LSD. You won 4 MVPs. He won 4 MVPs.
LSD gives you free love.
Oh, stop.
Roids,
I don't.
meth makes you a raging animal.
Talk about LSD every time the Jets lose. It's stupid. The defense cost the Jets the game last night, Paul Carlucci, not Aaron Rodgers. Doing LSD in Peru a year and a half ago.
He was probably doing it at the pregame meal with the defense.
He played fine. It was the Jet defense.
So now let me settle all score.
Go ahead.
You were involved in this. It was at our many rallies at Floyd Bennett Field. We could have stopped the encampment. And there was Eric Adams, swagger man with no plan at City Hall. And he was being asked about these rallies and why he was lying to the people about why he would put in 3,000 people, illegal aliens, into Floyd Bennett Field, which is not permitted to house anyone, not even American citizens.
Anytime you start out a question with the name Curtis Sliwa, that in itself states that it would do a disservice to me and other New Yorkers for me to even respond to that. Curtis Sliwa? I mean, if you go look in a dictionary for the word buffoon and tell me what picture you come up with.
I got to go with yours, Eric. I mean, I think that any rational New Yorker who's not been bitten by the Democrat bug or pandering would agree without any hesitation that Curtis Sliwa would be about 100 times better than you as mayor. So if you're asking me that question, Eric, my old buddy there, the answer is the picture of the buffoon is you.
And by the way, you believe he has COVID? Sure. Right before he had to meet with a roundtable discussion of Jews, you know how your people are. They are nudges. They won't stop. He was going to sit in the middle of 30 Jews who would have been asking him every question.
I don't know. Those Jews like him. I don't know about that. There may be other stuff going on.
Okay,
but I'm not sure about the Jews.
He had a town hall meeting last night in Underhill and Vanderbilt. He would have had to answer questions. How convenient.
See, that's the one. The Jew thing I don't buy because Jews defend him for some reason. It's nauseating. But if you're telling me he had to answer questions yesterday about the Banks brothers or Caban, then I would say, yes, pretty convenient.
So let me explain to you, because I know while you're convalescing there at Gracie Mansion, Eric, I feel so sorry for you. Can I bring you over some homemade chicken soup?
Yeah, that's me.
Back on November of 2023, a few days afterwards, Sid Rosenberg said, I don't understand, Curtis. I keep texting my friend. At that time, he was your friend, Eric Adams. He's not responding. And I said, not only privately, but publicly, hey, jerky boy, he has burner phones. He's got to swap them out every month like drug dealers, like guys who have gumadas have to do. That's the whole purpose of the burner phone. But you see what happened on November 2023, outside of NYU, when the FBI stepped to his police intel protecting him, and they said, step aside. I told you, 2 of the guys are rats for the FBI. They stepped aside. They never do that. He comes out, the FBI goes, hey, come here, get in your SUV. They patted him down. They took all of his technology. They took not only his 2 personal phones, they took his laptop. They took all his technology.
And could you tell me, they did all this, and you were the only person to talk about it. Do you have any idea why they did it? Because whether it's you or Sal, I know I keep doing this, it may be annoying. You're all presenting me with all the things that have happened to these guys That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
But why? What are they looking for when they're taking Eric Adams' phone? Do they expect to see some leader somewhere? Your check is ready. What are they looking to find?
Well, see, first off, they publicly embarrassed him because he's talking a lot of nonsense. You know, my complexion is my protection. I roll strong. You know, I'm the biggest guy in town. You remember how he was boasting? So they want him to know we can reach out and touch you anytime. But it's called, and you should ask George V. about this, our former FBI director from New York. It's called the two-hop rule. So you take the phones and you know everybody that the mayor's communicating with. Everybody. Email, text, phone. You know, everybody has everything on their phones nowadays. So his stupid posse, Phil Banks, David Banks, all these morons, Eddie Caban, all the Caban brothers, they don't realize. Now they have all of their information. Now they can start monitoring these idiots like Phil Banks, who they already knew because he was an unindicted co-conspirator. He was a rat before. They know how to deal with a rat. And they knew that he was meeting in the Verizon building right next to Police Plaza in City Hall. Why did he have a private office? Why was Eric Adams going there in a private office? Who told you first? Curtis Sliwa. Because that's where they would bring the loot, the payoffs. So now Phil Banks used his brother, Terrence, who set up a lobbying group, never registered, to launder all the money. This Phil Banks has been laundering money for years. And the FBI knew that because he was their cooperator. So now they go to Phil. They say, hey, Phil, we got you again by the short hairs. You going to play ball with us? Because we got you on the worst charges. And you know blood is thicker than water. He ain't going to give up his brother Terrence or David, the one who runs the anti-Semitic school system of New York, the Department of Education. I call him Smiley there.
Yeah. The Department of Jihad.
Right. He ain't going to give up any of his brothers. You know blood is thicker than water. And they're doing the same thing to the Cabans. They know that. They want Adams, but they know he's the mayor of the most powerful city in the world. You better have every I dotted, every T crossed if you're going to take him out.
Well, clearly they must have made Eddie Caban nervous because no one has been able to tell me exactly what Eddie Caban has done wrong. Nobody. And yet to resign from a really prestigious job like police commissioner.
Eddie knows.
By the way, he knows. I guess he knows, yeah.
When they snatched Eric's phones, Eric, when they snatched your phones, you moron. It's called the ripple effect. They cast the net out, and they know they're going to get all of your sycophants, toadies, and lackeys, and they know that all of them are going to eventually make their case and give you up.
Okay, so when they all give him up, because we got to get to Cuomo, too. When they all give him up, right, and the FBI, all these months, years, his donors, his police commissioner, his buddies, when they finally get to Eric, what do you think we're going to find out?
Oh, I know, because they already did this years ago to the first hip-hop mayor. His name, Kwame Kirkpatrick in Detroit, $5,000 customized suit, diamond in the ear. He was Eric Adams before there was Eric Adams. He got 25 years in Fort Worth, a federal prison. His mother was a congresswoman, and eventually Donald Trump, the president, gave him a commutation of his sentence. That's what's going to happen.
Well, what did he do? Well, what did he do? Did he take money? Did he take bribes?
Of course, he had side hustles. He took money. It's every.
So you're saying that Eric Adams, all this is all about him taking
Turkish money from Azerbaijan, money from Red China, foreign money.
But can't they prove that without breaking into consanfrito or making the police commissioner resign? Can't they prove that?
When you take out an organized crime family, you take them all out, right? Yeah. 63 of them on a Daisy perp chain.
That's true, yes.
Let me tell you, I've never been in the FBI headquarters, but I'll bet you walk into their room here in the Southern District, George V. probably knows, they have at the front, it's the capo di tutti, the picture of Eric Adams, and then the arrows to all of his capos.
True.
Phil Banks, Eddie Caban, all of them.
Right.
And every one of the FBI agents has a subgroup to follow in order to get the big guy.
All right. Excellent job, Curtis.
It's an organized crime family.
No, you're 100% right. This is why you're great. Talking about organized crime family, we have about 4 minutes to go here.
Oh.
You got to settle this score, too. He's the former governor. Tracy Albino will join me at 9:15. She's on her way to D.C. right now.
They're the best.
Her and Janice Dean and Jennifer Harrison.
The best.
Cuomo's going to testify in front of Congress today. They said yesterday they got more, more evidence that him and DeRosa lied or hid, or I thought we knew this already, but settle this score.
No. Oh, first of all, never mess with women. If you turn on women who've lost loved ones, or you've scorned them by lying to them directly about people who died under your watch, guys will forgive and forget. You know that, Sid. I'm sort of an exception to the rule. I don't forgive or forget.
No, you don't.
I would not want to face any one of these three women because they are on a mission to take down this man who's got blood on his hands, along with Melissa DeRosa. Every time they would walk into the studios here at WABC, they would never be asked that question. And now we have a report because what happens, they did interviews before they are going to do his execution on the Hill. Depositions from his own staff people, Democrats who worked for Cuomo at the time of the lockdown and the pandemic. And they say universally, the Governor Cuomo with Melissa DeRosa edited the state report. When they submitted it, they said, this is the report. They said, well, you cannot hand in this report. If you hand in this report, Jeff Sessions, the Attorney General, will indict us. Give us the report. And Cuomo and DeRosa went into the back room themselves, rewrote the report, downscaled the number of dead. Even their health commissioner, the guy that Doogie Howser was based on, Zucker said, don't count on me. I'm not going to do this. This is a crime. And then later on, when Cuomo was interviewed in his deposition, you know what he said? He said, tragically, moving of the patients out of the hospital turned out to be unnecessary. It turned out we didn't need to free up the hospital beds. He's got blood on his hands. And I hope him and Melissa DeRosa go to jail forever and ever and a day. They're responsible for 15,000 murders when they were in charge of the health and welfare of all these senior citizens that they sent into a COVID hotbed. Let me give you one other thing, and he's not going to be able to run from this.
But before you do, not only is he not going to jail, he's not going to jail. He's not going to jail. Trump's not going to jail. Hillary's not going to jail. Bill's wife's not going. No one's going to jail. Not only is he not going to jail, you ready for this? He's the guy you're going to be facing in your effort to become mayor. He's going to win that primary. It's going to be Sliwa versus Cuomo. And what he did today on Capitol Hill, what he does today on Capitol Hill, ain't going to matter because Democrats in New York will still vote for him.
Well, who took out Adams?
You did.
And you don't think I could take out Cuomo? And use the words
much
of his
tougher.
own staff members.
I don't know. This is much tougher.
Wait a second. Stephanie Benton. Quote, she already gave her deposition, loyal Cuomo aide. This is going to be the greatest debacle in the history books. Don't you see how bad this is, Cuomo and Melissa DeRosa? And they screamed at her, give me the papers!
Son of a bitch!
We're going in the back room with the whiteout. Bradley Hutton, a loyal apparatchik of the Cuomos, lifelong Democrat, the former deputy of the health commissioner, told the House committee in deposition that Cuomo and DeRosa lied to him and to others over and over again. He will go to hell without an asbestos suit. Cuomo, I went after your father, Mario Faccia Bruta Cuomo. And I'm coming after you, King Cuomo II. Let me give you a salute, because I know you're on your way to Washington, D.C., listening intently. Hey, Andrew, ascendame, tusi uprovino svachim. And just like your father, Mario, you are. And I will work every minute of every day to make sure you're up in Otisville with Melissa DeRosa for crimes against senior citizens, the death of 15,000. You are a murderer, and it doesn't get any worse than that. Bring it on, Cuomo. Get in the gladiator ring.
Hide behind Joe Percoco, your leg breaker, who did 6 years in federal prison to cover up your corruption. I know where all your bones are buried and who buried them. Bring it on. I took on the Gottis, and I'll take on the Cuomo crime family.